The film commences with a young girl named Megan whose father was gravely ill. He was suffering from cancer and was nearing the end of his life, which deeply saddened Megan, and she was desperate to discover a method to heal her father. She even resigned from her employment to provide care for him. During this period, she was exploring every conceivable way to restore her father's health. Concurrently, her mother was endeavoring to utilize black magic and incantations to cure him. Occasionally, she would position human teeth beneath his bed or bones, and these actions would infuriate Megan. She used to pick up everything and throw it in the dustbin, to the extent that Megan's mother, on her friend's suggestion, started giving her husband strange potions. And Megan was angry with her mother for doing all this despite being so educated. Megan and her dad's nurse thought that his condition wasn't improving because her mother was conducting strange experiments on her dad. We learned that Megan had some issues of her own. She needed money, which her dad used to give her. But due to the illness, all the money had gone into her mother's hands, and she couldn't understand how to ask her mother for money while her dad was ill. How should I ask mom for money? With great courage, Megan thus mustered the courage to ask her mom for money, but her mom flatly refuses, saying she doesn't have any money. Whatever money there is, it goes towards her dad's medicines. Her mom had also become quite despondent. That's why today, Megan tells her mom, "I'm with dad. You can go out for a little while to get some fresh air." As soon as Megan's mom steps out, her dad's condition starts to worsen, and he begins to call out to his wife, saying he's in a lot of pain. Seeing this, Megan becomes anxious and gives him his medicine. When she does this, she heard footsteps from the upper floor of her house, as if someone was walking above. She assumed it was her sister and went to the washroom to wash her face, where, in her sadness, she recalled memories of her dad. Memories from when she was little and her dad used to play with her. But when she came out of the washroom crying, she saw her mom giving medicine to the cat. And this startled her because she had just given medicine to her dad and gone inside. She started getting angry with her mom. "Could you at least ask me first? Before giving him medicine." An overdose has been given. Meghna tells her mom there's no other way. They decide that both of them will stay with dad tonight, and the three of them sleep on the same bed. In the morning, when Meghna opens her eyes, she sees that her dad is no longer in this world. Panicking, she wakes her mom and starts crying profusely. Together, they close his eyes and mouth, and Meghna is shattered by the incident. However, she notices that her mum seems unaffected. She wonders if her mum ever loved dad. There was tension about having to arrange her dad's funeral, and when she tries to discuss it, when she goes to her, she notices that her mum, upon seeing her halfway, went upstairs. She quietly listens to her mum's conversation and finds out she was about to call someone. She asks her quickly, "What happened to my husband? And you come quickly." She then asks her mum, "Who were you going to talk to? The ambulance? Have you made any preparations for the funeral?" But instead of answering her questions, her mum starts making coffee very calmly and asks Megan to play some music. This makes Megan's mind spin, and she says, "Mum, do you understand what has happened to us? My dad, your husband, has left this world, and now we have to handle his affairs." At this moment, her mum, she yells, "Quiet. That won't happen. We just need to keep your dad's body cool, and then he will come and your dad will be alive again." Hearing this, Megan was completely bewildered. What was her mum trying to do now? Her mum seemed crazy to her. But then her mum told her that she knew a man who could bring dead people back to life. Megan tried to explain to her that it was impossible. Then Megan's mum said, "If you can't support me in all this, then for heaven's sake leave." Now Megan also went outside and started crying, and then she remembered her dad. Her dad was sitting with her. It felt like her dad. Many say that your mom is right in what she's saying and you should support her. If you don't let her try, you'll end up being the bad one for her. At this point, Megan began to understand these things, and she went inside to tell her mom to explain what needed to be done. She agreed, because that kid had explained it to her. "Look, when I'm not alive, your mom will understand that all these things are pointless and she'll never believe in them again." Here, Megan's mom also seemed quite satisfied that now the makeup was supporting them. She tells Megan that first, "We need to clear the hall together. Not a single item should be left." After clearing the hall, they covered all the windows of the house properly so that no light could enter their home. After covering all the windows, when she was covering the mirrors, she saw a reflection in one of them. Soon as she turned around, there was no one there. She looked in the mirror again, and now there were many more. She turned on the light, and again there was no one there. Fearfully, she covered all the mirrors with cloth. Her mom had told her. After that, Megan's mom gives her a special kind of suit, which Megan puts on, and then they start waiting for that man. They decorate for hours, and when he doesn't arrive, Megan starts getting angry with her mom, saying she thinks all those people are fake. Hearing this, Megan's mom also gets angry and tells her to get out. She accuses Megan of not wanting her dad to be alive and not wanting to support her. She claims Megan stayed only to somehow stop her from doing her work. While they were arguing, suddenly that man entered the house. Megan didn't know where he came from. As soon as he arrived, he looked at Megan like the chief minister. And then he told Megan's mom to get rid of all the belongings of her husband that he was attached to. Following his instructions, Barbara, Megan's mom, began to burn all those items.
However, Megan wasn't feeling good about it. Among those items was a picture of Megan and her dad. She pleaded with her mum not to burn it, but her mum did so anyway, saying that they were just things. If your dad comes back to life, what value would these things hold in front of him? After burning everything, Barbara and Megan went inside, and the man asked Barbara for a bag. What was in that bag? Megan didn't know. She quickly brought the bag outside to him. She gives it to him, and Megan sees that it contained a lot of money, which was burned along with it, and Megan got angry because she needed that money. But here, her mum used that money for this charade. She tried hard to stop her, but who would listen to her here? It was her dad's entire life savings, which they burnt in a minute and made a circle with the ashes. Beneath this circle of ashes, a lot was written, and this man had also lit many candles in the room. And Megan was getting very angry. She didn't want to support her mum, so she came out of the room, and then another voice told her to support her mum. BNI told her, darling, that you should support your mom. Don't leave her alone like this. It's a difficult time for her as well. If America wants, then call her inside the circle.
The man explains that this circle is a form of protection. Megan asks what kind of protection. Her mom replies that to summon your dad, we are going to perform a ritual in which we will place your dad's dead body inside the circle and make a sacrifice. After making this sacrifice, we will enter the world of souls where many souls will try to attack us, and this circle will protect us from them. Once there, we must protect ourselves from those souls and make another sacrifice, after which we will bring your dad's soul back to this world and your dad will come back to life. He then begins the ritual. While chanting something, he takes Megan's mum, Barbara's hand, and mercilessly cuts off one of her fingers as a sacrifice. Then he turns towards Megan. I was so terrified, but forcibly, this man also grabbed her hand and cut off one of her fingers. The pain drove Megan mad and she even fainted. When she regained consciousness, the man was collecting her tears with a knife. However, her mum then says, it's time to bring your dad back. Hold my hand. Join me. As they hold hands, they start chanting some incantations as instructed by the man. Finally, they reach the world of souls. When their eyes opened, the entire hall seemed transformed. He was performing a ritual with the spirits. His body was bleeding as if someone had torn it apart. And then something strange happened and they dragged that man away from there. Megan wanted to save him, but her mum said not to step outside the circle or they would remain there. Megan also had to take care of her dad's body, and when she realized the body was no longer in the circle, she panicked. She looked around and found out that the body had been taken out by a force and the soul had taken possession of it. The souls from wherever you are wanted to attack both Barbara and Megan and consume them. This was something Megan and Barbara did not reveal. They only wanted to bring their dad's body back into the circle, for which they first needed to distract the soul that was near their dad's body. To repeatedly distract the soul, she cuts her finger and, while drawing blood, tells the soul to come to her. This soul was inside her husband's body. She wanted to bring that body into the circle, but the soul could not enter the circle. In the process of trying to bring her husband into the circle, her foot accidentally steps outside the circle, and immediately, the souls forcefully pull her out, placing her life in grave danger. Witnessing this, Megan becomes extremely terrified. She begins to weep uncontrollably. She desperately calls out to her mother and father, pleading for assistance, but no one responds. Her mother had been killed and her blood now encircled her protective boundary. Megan continues to sob and she hears the chilling laughter of numerous souls surrounding her. Amidst her tears, Megan recalls that her mother had mentioned they must perform another sacrifice in the realm of souls to return to the human world. She remembered. She picked up a nearby knife and cut another finger. It caused her a lot of pain, but she didn't return to the human world. Her sacrifice was in vain. She couldn't understand what was happening to her. She could hear the laughter of all the souls around her, and she began to feel afraid. Then she remembered the floor she was sitting on. It was made of wood. She started to break the floor with the knife and looked down to finally see the light of the human world shining through. Quickly, she broke through the floor and entered that world. But what does she see? There was a human world here, but it was a world of memories from which escaping was tough. Knowing this, she faints, and when she wakes, she finds herself back on the same floor within the same circle. In front of her, her mom was now sitting on the other side of the circle, and she too had become a demon. She had turned into a devil. Seeing this, Megan breaks down and tells her mom, Mom, eat me. And as she says this, she steps out of the circle and starts moving towards her mom when suddenly a bright light hits her eyes. As she opens her eyes, she sees that she is now in her real... She had arrived. In fact, the third sacrifice she had to make was of her own life. Here, she had come into this world all alone, and with this, the story comes to an end.